This is a very experimental, real India-China conversation. You grew up in China?
Yes,
When the one-child policy was there in China, are you part of that one-child policy?
I am. A lot of people say, oh, your government mean, why have one-child policy? People should have freedom. I disagree about that.
How do I make it reach Chinese audiences?
TikTok. But in China, it's the same platform we call Douyin. If you want to really to see China media, that's just a trick. I just found it out. I will be definitely banned.
What is the dating scene like in China? Are Chinese people romantic?
I think in general, no.
No.
Yeah. Chinese people are super shy. More think about the business, family, and make money.
A lot of Indians. We're very curious about China. We want to learn from China. But many of us are vegetarian. We don't eat meat.
Don't worry. You need to go to the restaurant to mention you're vegetarian. When I was child, I was a vegetarian.
Really?
I born like that.
President Xi Jinping, how does he talk to public?
He's quite cool guy. He's always going to different side of China, down to the factory, to the people's family, even to the village to show the government cares.
Let's speak about Bollywood. What we are told is that Aamir Khan is very big in China.
You know who is more famous right now in China? Is the billionaire.
Anant Ambani.
He's got so famous in China. Everyone talk about him.
Honestly, there's a lot of geopolitical tension between our two countries. 2-3 years ago, there was a clash at the border with Chinese soldiers and Indian soldiers. In India, we are told that after India-China war, one part of India got taken away. Aksai Chin.
To be honest, media will never know the truth. You will never know the truth.
This was announced in China?
Yeah, for sure.
What was said?
I'm quite international open mind, but I'm really disagree about this part is because they don't know what's happening in the moment in China.
How does China feel about religion in general?
We don't have a religion, but mainly people believe Buddhists. I randomly meet a girl Chinese on the street. She are promoting for me Indian religion. She teach me
Hinduism?
Krishna.
Wow. This was one of the most fun episodes of the year for me. It features Yuchen Li or Mary Lee. She's an entrepreneur from China. She's currently based in Dubai. She's been in Dubai for the last 8 years. She's one of the most charismatic people that I met on my recent trip to Singapore. We had a conversation the day prior to recording this episode where we were just exchanging notes on India and China, and I realized that this person has such a strong personality. I have to take this person's story and this person's vibe out to my audience. Whenever we talk about China on Indian podcasts, it's almost always from a geopolitical perspective. We touched upon certain geopolitical elements in today's episode, but truth be told, this is a very casual conversation. We just tried exchanging notes as civilians of India and China respectively. We spoke about the journey to the West, which is their version of the Ramayana or Mahabharata. I explained the Mahabharata. She explained how China views India. I explained how India views China. We also spoke about certain spicier topics that are in store for you on today's very fun, very relaxed, but also deeply perspective building episode of The Ranveer Show. This was one of my favorite episodes of the year. And if you complete the episode, you'll understand why I'm saying that. It's Yuchen Li, aka Mary Lee, who features on today's episode of The Ranveer Show. Mary Lee,
Hi.
this is a very experimental podcast for us. I have no idea what we're going to talk about, but I really wanted to just have a very casual and real India-China conversation.
I'm excited for that. Actually, that's also what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, in my opinion, India is somewhere really history, somehow similar like China. We have a largest population in the world, and but sadly, I was check the visa applying. they reject us. They're not allowed we as tourists to visit India. So that's making me extra excited for today. The the podcast. Yeah.
Honestly, there's a lot of geopolitical tension between our two countries. But I don't think that geopolitics always represents the minds and hearts of the people. So this is a person meets person conversation.
Definitely.
Yeah. Because whatever I learn about China is through the internet. Sometimes, actually, very often it's through the geopolitical angle of it. Like, this is what's happening at the border, and this is the tension between the governments. So we won't really talk about the geopolitical angle today.
Of the people, yeah, exactly. Actually, I'm quite special Chinese because I'm living in Dubai for over 7 years. I got a lot of Indian friends, but I'm always going back to China for business meeting, visit family. So I also heard a lot of good, interesting topic about the people, how they talk about India. At the same time, I heard a lot of voice from the Indian people who based in Dubai, like a friend of my customer, to introduce me, explain me what's the real India it is. So I'm really, really excited for the conversation.
No, welcome to the Ranveer Show.
Thank you for inviting.
How are you feeling about this topic today? Excited?
I think it's gonna be a big, big, big fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do I make it reach Chinese audiences?
Oh, you know the TikTok.
Yeah.
But in China, it's the same platform we call Douyin. That is a trick I just found it out. Is China Douyin, which is TikTok. When you must be download from China Apple Store, but when you at like for example your App Store from India or from Dubai or other country, when you download, it's not the Douyin which we use in the mainland. So the video coming up is totally different. We're gonna see different thing. So that's why it's if you wanna really to see China media, use your iPhone Apple Store to make it China and to download Douyin, you will see everything.
Douyin,
Douyin, yeah.
same as TikTok.
It is exactly TikTok.
God. Do you know that TikTok is not allowed in India? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They banned TikTok a few years ago. It was very big in India. And then overnight, one day, the government decided to ban it.
Yeah.
So again, it's a geopolitics angle. They think that data is being leaked from India into like the Chinese government. There's a lot of tension right now, honestly.
Exactly.
Like whenever China's brought up on our podcast, it's always a little bit of tension, which is exactly why I wanted to do this episode. That there's another flip side to it. I feel our country's cultures are linked historically.
Definitely.
We're two Asian countries. And I have a lot of questions about the people and the culture. So let's begin with you.
Sure.
You grew up in China?
Yes, I grew up and raised in China.
Which part?
My parents from pretty north. My dad is half Mongolian, half Inner Mongolian. Mom is from really old region called Shanxi. A lot of people doesn't know there, but it's quite famous in China.
Okay. Which big city is it near?
Near to Beijing. I'm most of my time living in Beijing before I moved to Dubai.
Okay. And what age did you move to Dubai in?
I think it was 22, 23, something approximately after I graduated from university.
And you studied in China?
Yes.
When did you learn English?
Actually, Chinese right nowadays, they really care about English. From the age of when I joined the school, I started from, I think, before high school, we already start, but like really basic. But this thing I really want to talk about is that all Chinese know one part of India. They did really better than us is the language, English. We both are, country which is have a lot of good factory labor, but China did really bad marketing and to like send the talent people go out of China is because of language. You guys does really great job for the language part than us. Now we are working on it. Yeah.
Got it. So are they teaching young kids in China English?
Now, yes, started from like maybe kindergarten, but before when I was kids, not that much earlier.
Okay. If you don't mind me asking you this, when the one-child policy was there in China, are you part of that one-child policy?
I am.
So you're the only child of your parents?
Exactly. My mom is communist.
Okay.
So, our main party is communist.
Yes.
So if you're as communist family, you should to do everything more than not communist. Like anything. For example, the government announced that's one child policy. As the family, you should be more respect what the government like
Says.
rules. Yes, that's what you have to do.
What is the non-communist families like? Like you said, your mom is communist.
Yeah,
So all the non-communists, are they like from Mongolia or other parts?
yeah. Trust me, there's so many non-communists. There's a lot of communists as well. But actually nowadays is quite not big different. But back on the days, they take it a little bit more serious. For example, your communist family, you're like a kind of like idol. You need to do everything to like to show peace to other people. They're more serious and more like, you know,
Disciplined about
Yeah.
following the party.
exactly, and to show other people as example.
Got it.
So my grandfather, he is communist. My mom is my mom also is a communist. So we are, for example, the government said the one child policy would take it really serious. But no communist family, I necessarily know it is really happened. There's some family really want a second child, or maybe even third. They try to pay the penalty, or they try to hide the child when it was born. But this was back the day, more than 20 almost 30 years ago. That's yeah.
Got it. So at that time, they maybe would pay the penalty or sometimes hide the child if it was.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. But now the one child policy has gone away.
Long time. That's what I'm talking about over 30 years ago.
When did the government lift the one child policy off?
I think it was almost like more than 10 years ago.
Okay.
I think more than 10 years. I'm not if I'm right.
And what did the government say to the people?
And they just open for that. You can have a second child. Even I think you can apply for third. There's no any like restriction of the penalty or anything. It just open.
Got it. You know our Prime Minister, Narendra Modi?
Everyone know he's famous in China, by the
Oh,
way.
really?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was going to say that whenever PM Modi is addressing India, he gives inspiration. You know, he tries inspiring. Like
Same like our president.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you that President Xi Jinping, how does he talk to public?
I believe all the presidents, politicians, they talk quite serious, and mostly they gave, as you said, motivation and the direction to guiding your citizen, right? So, you know, normally he's quite, I mean, in my opinion, he's quite cool guy. I really like him because he's always going to a lot of different side of China, because China, like India, is huge. He go to somewhere really down to the factory, to the people's family, even to the village, to really to show the government's cares, and shows that he really pushed China, especially you see during this like under his ruling, China's went up so fast. And he's super sharp and action person. And also about your president is the same. Because we see there is a lot of new technology happen on India. This is what I see on Douyin, by the way. And there's, like some new train. You have this fast train, right? Like
Right.
really cool one. And also you got this factory, like this opening. Even some, I know India is quite religion mixed country. Some religion have big like festival or some days. He's always shows up there and to speak, to represent the people, to show same like us. Government cares.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they care us.
Are there people in China who don't like the government?
To be honest, that's a really, really dangerous question, but I would love to see, because it's just my personal opinion, doesn't represent anyone.
Yeah.
Every government, I'm been to more than 40 countries in the world. No matter where I went to, I always heard two ways. Doesn't matter how great the government try to do the best to do the country, there's always two ways. There people like, there people don't like. But one thing about China, as I'm proud of Chinese, is we're proud of our country. We all love our country. This is no matter people from American, I mean the Chinese like move to American, or there's a lot of Chinese in Singapore. They all have this heart in like China inside of us.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that's one similarity between India and China. Again, two opinions on the government, but everyone is patriotic and everyone loves the country. And I think that this is because of history and culture. So in India, we love our culture. we
Exactly.
we realize that we are thousands of years old and we love studying that stuff. Do Chinese students